You're cold.
I am.
Is it cold there?
Dude. I guess not compared to where you're at.
I don't know. I mean, Northern California gets pretty cold.
I'm gonna say 40.
It's probably the same. It's gonna get down into like the low 20s here this week.
Ooh, you got snow on the ground?
We usually get a big snowstorm like twice a year, and I think it is supposed to snow on Saturday and Sunday.
I've put some like whatever Swolverine's like rehydration mix is. I just put a little tiny bit of that into a cup and then fill it with hot water, and it's like drinking tea.
I've done that. I've done that with some of those types of like salty. Is it salty? Is the one that you have salty?
No, but it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be, but they've got like something like mango flavored or something.
Nice.
But anyway, I like it. It's my hot drink at night because if I drink coffee now at 6:30, I'm hosed.
No way.
Yeah. Those days of being a young man and drinking coffee late at night, way over.
Is it because you have to pee a lot or it'll keep you awake?
I have to pee a lot anyway, but awake. Both very good, great questions.
Thanks.
Elmer Fudd, as in Dennis the Menace. Yeah, I am Elmer Fudd with this hat on. Where's my wabbit? Hunting wabbit. Okay, go ahead.
Is it just me and you?
Yeah, it's just us. Well, Caleb's in the background in case you say something that needs a picture.
Okay. Cool. A long time no chat.
Yeah. Hey, let's just dig in. First, where are you?
I'm at our office because if I tried to do this at home, you gave me the option of either 6:30 in the morning or 6:30 at night, and both of those times were, as you know, very chaotic with little kids.
Tell me your day today.
Well, it's changed a little bit recently, but today I did more street parking stuff than I have for the last couple weeks. I woke up.
Time do you wake up?
Well, the 1-year-old woke me up at 6.
6?
There was a period of time where I was waking up at 5:30 and working out in the morning. And then it's like the baby knew that I was awake, so he just started waking up at 5:30 also. And so that got kind of ruined. So I just wake up when he wakes up.
And how old's the baby? What the baby is?
He'll be 2 in 2 months, in like a month and a half.
And that's your youngest of 3?
Yeah.
Man, you're doing it.
So I'm still breastfeeding him though.
Fun.
So he wakes up. He woke up
today. I love breastfeeding.
It's so good. It's like it's the closest thing to like a miracle or magic, I swear, on this planet. It's nuts.
Do you put the breast milk on everything? My wife would do that. Like they got an ouchie, put it on there. Their eye looks a little puffy, squirt a little breast milk on stuff. Yeah. My wife does that too. Yeah.
That's to make some like face cream out of it.
Yes. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. And do you like it? I spoke to a lady today at the coffee shop. I was hanging out at the coffee shop today, just my 3 boys, a mom and her kid, and she's like, she said the kid's 7 months old and she doesn't like it. But I thought I need to double check with my wife. But my wife looked like she loved it. I mean, she didn't like staying up all night, but I think overall it was a net positive.
It's like one of those things where there are times when you're doing it where it's a commitment for sure. And so Knox and then Crew is our youngest. They both were biters, like big time, like draw blood, like biting. And it's a very big time commitment.
Do you hit the kids when they do that? Do you hit a baby when you do that? Just fucking smack the shit out of them?
I mean, I've like probably pushed them off too forcefully a few times. Well, I mean, it's like a natural reaction, right? You like, but the funny thing is you'll be like, and you'll scream because you're not expecting it. And then they start crying like, how dare you scream when I bite you?
Yeah.
But yeah, the middle one didn't bite me at all, like ever. But the first one and the last one. But I would say now, because we don't plan on having any other kids, like it's definitely something that I'm trying to just really cherish, and the connection and the bond is very real. So
yeah, that my wife would use that narrative also. How many times are you going to be pregnant? How many times are you going to get a chance to do this? Like spin a good story around it. Make sure you got a good narrative around it. Enjoy the experience. Make sure it's an experience and these are sensations. And I liked how she handled it like that.
Yeah, it's very similar to the pregnancy journey itself.
Right. Yeah. And then we're gonna get back to your schedule in a second, but so don't you guys get some drugs or something pumped into your brain? Like like you start breastfeeding and then like you get like a dose of like fentanyl or something? Oh, oxytocin. I knew it was something.
And fentanyl. I think that's where fentanyl originated. Are there comments on this thing? If people say comments, am I gonna be able to see it?
Oh, yeah, you can't see. Oh, so go up into the right-hand corner, and it should say private chat or comments.
Oh, okay. I was only on private chat. Okay, cool.
Careful, though. This is a, you don't be like Jason Khalipa and you just fall into a pit. Oxytocin is a hormone that acts on organs in the body, including the breast and uterus, and as a chemical messenger in the brain, controlling key aspects of the reproductive system, including childbirth and lactation, and aspects of human behavior. It should
It's a
say after
feel-good
that,
hormone. That
yum.
it didn't
What?
say
It's a
that, but
what?
it's a feel-good hormone.
Feel good, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get a 6 a.m., wakes you up at 1-year-old, so you don't get a chance to work out, and you just start breastfeeding right away?
Yeah, I take him back into, like, my bed, or I'll stay we have a mattress on the floor in his room, and I'll breastfeed him for, like, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes, and then the other 2 will get up, and Julian and all of us will go downstairs, and then it's just chaos, chaos. So none of our kids go to school. Um, and then Julian left to come to the office at like 8:30. We do have somebody that comes in to help with the kids at 9:30. And today I needed to be at the office around 11:30 because I was recording a podcast and we had some meetings and stuff.
Who'd you do a podcast with?
Myself.
Okay.
Just talking to myself.
All right, good. Yeah, I
Uh,
like it.
yeah, it was just one of our street parking podcasts I recorded earlier today. But for the last couple months, I haven't been coming into the office as much. I've transitioned into more of like taking care of taking care of our boys more. And we pulled our 3-year-old was in a preschool and we pulled him out of it.
Mm.
So I'm usually
For
now.
any reason? Was he or just you wanted for any reason, like, problem with the preschool, or just you wanted to
No, no,
change
no,
it
no,
up, or
not. Our 6-year-old went there for 3 years, and there was no problem with the preschool. It just, honestly, it felt like we were using that preschool as daycare because I'm homeschooling our 6-year-old with a couple other families. We would get together a couple days a week, and other than that, I'm teaching him on my own, so he doesn't go to school. And then the 1-year-old wasn't going to school, and so it felt like we were pawning him off, and I felt
Mm.
like he was going to be able to pick up on that.
Mm.
And I was like, well, if we're just going to pull him out eventually, and I have made a transition to be more at home. It's just like something that I have wanted to do for a long time, and we're in a financial position, and the business is doing well enough, and Julian's plugged in that like I can. So why wouldn't I? So I've been spending more time with our kids the last like 6 weeks maybe. And so we pulled the 3-year-old out of school. Yeah. So I was with the 2 older ones until like 11 when I came here. And then I was here from like 11 till 3. Then went home. And I feel like you had another question
Oh,
about.
I do, but I'll come back to it. I took a note.
Yeah.
Do you nap, and have you napped yet? You got up at 6 and it's 3. Have you napped yet? I didn't hear
No,
you
I
say
haven't.
nap. No nap?
Sevan, come
Oh,
on.
all
Did your
right.
wife get to take naps?
No, but I do. No. That's crazy. She doesn't nap. That's crazy. How does she do that? I gotta ask her. No, she doesn't nap. That's weird.
No.
I nap.
No, so I was here from 11 till 3 doing some work stuff, and then I was home from 3 till like 4:30. Julian rolled up with our accountant who is in town and one of our other staff here, and we worked out together. And then I got ready and I came back here.
Dang. What sex are the kids?
They're all boys.
All boys. Okay, so
Yeah, remember we hung. We went to that aquarium.
that's right. That's right.
Mhm.
And when boy, like today, a lot of times, like I think I'm like, I'm gonna finish the podcast and I'm gonna hang out for a minute in the house, or I'm gonna do something at 9 a.m. And I'm just like, oh, I have to. It's like having dogs; they have to be walked. So like, I just immediately get them dressed, and I have by 10 a.m. or so. They do school in the morning, and then the instructor comes to the house and they do martial arts for an hour, and then immediately I have to take them out.
Yeah.
They'll destroy the house, and they're good kids, but they'll just.
I had to take them out. It was raining hard, but it's
Yeah.
like if you don't get them outside before 10 a.m., by the
Yeah.
time 10 a.m. rolls around, like forget, like they're going to be so mean to each other,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just like it's bad. And so I mean, it's good for all of us to get out in the morning. We try
Do you
to.
have a spot where you walk them? Like I got like you have a spot where you walk your dog. I got a spot. It's a mile each direction. It's along the beach. You know it. It's by where the Point Market is,
Oh yeah,
Westwood.
okay, yeah.
I park there and I just walk the kids 2 miles. I mean, they're on skateboards or
Yeah.
one wheels, or they do other stuff, or I let them go down to the water, but I'm just walking.
Our neighborhood that we live in is beautiful, and it has a really cool park and everything.
Mhm.
And it's super safe. It's super safe as far as like there's almost no traffic and everything. So the other place that we take them is we are building a house like 10 minutes from us, and it's on 2 acres. And so it's like they're starting drywall this week, but right now it's just like a maze and like a playground for them. So they just go and it's very hilly. It's on a hill. So they go nuts over there, and we'll take them there and just throw rocks for a couple hours and stuff.
So this mattress, this auxiliary mattress.
Oh, we have auxiliary mattresses in like every room.
Oh, okay, wow. Okay, so I never talked about my auxiliary mattress because I
Wow.
was because I'm
I feel like it's
embarrassed.
normal.
I'm embarrassed, but I had Rich Froning on, and I said something about sleeping in bed. He said, "I don't sleep in the bed with my wife. I sleep on the mattress on the floor." I was like, "Oh fuck, we're gonna talk about the mattress on the floor."
Julian sleeps on the mattress on the floor. I mean, we always start out together, but one of us always ends up on a mattress on the floor somewhere.
Yeah, crazy. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
And I told myself I just got a single mattress at first. And I'm like, hey, the day that we need a bigger mattress on the floor is the time to put my foot down. But I ended up now I got a queen size mattress. What's the biggest floor mattress you have?
Oh, in the baby's room, and so Knox and Banner share a room. They have bunk beds. There's bunk beds in there and a full-size bed and a full-size mattress on the floor, and it's 2 little kids.
Okay, full size. Okay, no king size mattresses on the floor.
No king-size mattresses on the floor. There's a full-size mattress in the baby's room too, though.
Okay. I just got one queen size in my bedroom, and I'm always a little ashamed about it. I've only talked about it on 2 episodes, the one with Rich and now with you. But I heard you mention mattress, so I felt like I should be vulnerable too and let you know we have a mattress also.
Well, I mean, I feel like we're all supposed to be sleeping on the same mattress. Probably it's how we were designed, and we just try to put everybody in their rooms, and it doesn't work.
Right,
We're all
right.
going against nature.
We have we it sounds like you're doing the same thing we do. We put them in bed, and then it's 59% of the nights. There's the traditional march where they march one by one. They march into the room. Some of them are runners because they're scared. Some of them walk casually. My oldest is scared of the dark, so he runs, which always makes me nervous. You have anyone who runs into the room and you're like, dude, you're gonna run
The
into the wall.
most common occurrence for us is the oldest, who shares his room with the middle. He'll walk in his little underwear. It's like the cutest thing ever, and his hair's all messed up, and he's like, "This guy will not let me sleep." He's like, "This guy never lets me sleep."
Is he
And
awake when he says it, or is he asleep?
mostly, kind of, and it's because the middle one like wants something, but he refuses to get out of bed, and so he starts asking the older one for it, and so he comes and gets us to complain about him.
Perfect. Yeah. My wife got hit the other night pretty good. It was the first time she's been hit probably in 4 or 5 years, but I heard it. It woke me up. And then I heard one of my kids go, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mom." And he had a dream he was in jiu-jitsu, and he even
He
knew
walked in and hit her, or was he sleeping?
No, he was sleeping. He was sleeping.
Okay.
He was sleeping. God, it was
Yeah.
crazy. Didn't give her a shiner though.
Oh, I've gotten shiners from the boys. I've gotten like cuts on my face from toys hitting me and stuff.
Haley got a really big shiner and a cut. A kid was breastfeeding and popped its head up on her while she was looking down. Yeah, that one was like the one where you go to Whole Foods and they're like, "Do you need someone to talk to?" You know, like
Yeah.
Sevan hitting you again. I mean, Sevan hitting you. CrossFit Games are coming up.
Mhm.
Remember those?
Yeah, I do.
And last year, Street Parking, the organization, the movement, the community, the empire, Street Parking Empire, was intimately involved. They even had Adrian Bosman,
Mhm.
former friend of yours, maybe still a friend, close.
Yeah.
Yeah, still a friend. Come out, made some really cool video with him. And then it was kind of interesting to see the two, units come together, right? Street Parking and CrossFit. What's the plan this year? Is the Opens just around the corner? Are you guys holding hands with CrossFit again, or?
Not as we're not holding hands as tightly as we were last year.
Not officially. Adrian's not coming. So Adrian's not coming out, or Dave's not coming out for another video.
No, they're not coming out this year. And so obviously, it's no secret that a lot of our members come from CrossFit. They're still very heavily involved, still love doing the Open, and we've always, well, I shouldn't say we always will be, because want to predict the future, but we've always been very supportive of that. We're going to allow them to log those workouts. We're going to make an extra program for them and put them so that they can log. Our members are very attached to logging because they can earn gear and stuff like that if they log a certain number of workouts. And so we're going to make them loggable. We're going to give them tips on how to, do it and everything like that. We don't have as much of like an integrated plan with CrossFit for all of that stuff this year, though.
You were basically allowing your community to be leveraged with cooperation from street parking before, and now that cooperation is not there. You're just facilitating it for your members, not so much CrossFit Inc. HQ.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that.
All right. Yeah, that's cool. I mean that. What would you say street parking is?
We call it a programming community.
And
what would you say it is?
I knew this girl, and she worked at CrossFit, and she wanted to start this program up, and then she got knocked up, and then she was like, fuck, I don't know if I should still do it, or people's going to still want to do it with some pregnant lady doing it. And she did it anyway. And she was a great speaker, and she enjoyed people, and she enjoyed helping people and interacting with people. And she just kept going when she was pregnant. And that actually lent to the authenticity of her movement, of her company, of her programming. And they got it, there was probably like it was supercharged with this kind of intimacy because she was going through her first pregnancy, and this community built. And and this community is people who want to move and be healthy. And she has a tremendous background in all of those things, in people and movement and in being healthy. And so and she wants to encourage people to do that, and she allows people to do it in their own home.
Yeah,
and
nice.
Everywhere. That's not nearly as smooth. I mean, yours is just like programming community.
It's a we call it a program. I mean, I could go more in depth like you did. It's for people originally.
Well, I'm a storyteller, so mine's always going to be a story. Like there was babies and sex in my story and stuff like that.
Originally in 2016, it was a program for those who don't have access to, can't afford, or don't enjoy going to a regular gym. It was a program, and to be able to find people to like still commiserate with about the workouts, but online from a safe distance or from the middle of nowhere in Montana or whatever, or for people who with limited time, space, or equipment. So I guess similar idea, but that was where the idea came from. And then the community just grew much bigger and much more tight knit than we could have even imagined. And so,
do you ever feel like it was growing so fast that you couldn't, I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say support, but I'll think of a better word, that you couldn't support the community? Like how long has street parking been around?
We're in our 8th year now.
So like, let's say around year 2 or 1,
Mm-hmm.
where you're like, oh my God, there's so many people here. How can I support them all? Like, I can't possibly talk to them all. I can't possibly respond to them all. I can't, like, what can I do? What can I do?
Yeah, where it got tricky. So we used to, when we first started, it was just Julian and I, and we were committed to commenting on every Facebook post and every Instagram post from any member that used the hashtag street parking. And from our street parking members' Instagram, which used to be private, we followed back anybody who joined. So we would ask every single member who joined who their, or what their Instagram was, and we would follow them back. Even if they were private, we would follow them back, and we would comment on all of that stuff. What we didn't know when we started, we didn't know that we would ever have the number of members that we did, but B, we didn't know that there was a limit to how many people you can follow on Instagram. That number is 7,500. And so we couldn't follow people back anymore. And many of our members are private. And so we were like, well, shoot, like we can't follow them. So we're not going to see their posts. How are we going to support them? Because it was very important to us. You talk about, more than anyone, the importance of, if somebody walks into your CrossFit gym or your gym and they take your class, they need to have some sort of coaching every single day, and they need to hear good job or some sort of affirmation that you're here and we see you and we recognize that you're working hard or whatever. And so we were trying to recreate that. And after a few years, it wasn't just Julian and I, but we had hired people to help us with that. But once we couldn't follow people back anymore, we had to start getting creative, and we created Street Parking Members 2 and Street Parking Members 3. But eventually we had to just let that go because we're at 35,000 members now. And we almost got our Street Parking Members Instagram shut down because they thought we were a bot. Because every time someone would join, we would add them. And every time someone we would cancel, we would take them off. And we were doing that daily. And it just looked like we were, it was fishy. So we ended up having
that interesting. So the platform's not conducive to really running big flourishing communities.
Yeah, no, I mean, and then I would say the other place is the Facebook community.
That's a trip.
Is nuts. Our Facebook, imagine a 35,000 member CrossFit gym, and like all the drama and all the arguing about politics and all this person's jokes are way too inappropriate and this person's way too sensitive. Like it all happens on our Facebook group. It's nuts.
Hey, so do you ever feel like you should just, this is kind of a weird thing, but just ignore them? Like, I want to interact with the people who watch the show, but also part of me wants to just completely leave them alone. So like my life doesn't have, when I turn this off, my life doesn't have any of these people.
Yeah.
I don't see them. They don't live in my neighborhood, but in the morning, I'm so excited to see them. I get up, I turn it on. They're all there. I talk to them. Now it's tiny. It's 1% the size of your community.
That's not true.
No. And that might be a gross exaggeration. Do you ever, but I don't want to I don't want to fuck with them because I don't want to ruin their shit. Like my part, like I feel like I'm just supposed to walk around and pick up the trash and like leave sandwiches out and like, you know what I mean? Like I'm just, do you know what I mean? Like I just turn on my computer, I hang out, I bring some topics here, I bring some people here, but like I don't know how to interact with them outside of that. Like I don't want to mess with it. Like how do you know what to mess with?
Well, so I've been on that's been a journey for me.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like what levers to pull? Should you not like leave a big bucket of water and they're like, we hate water. You're like, fuck, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, so I would say that in the last year, actually it started in 2020 where it became very clear that I
wasn't trying to build a community. Were you trying to build a community? Did you know? I know you were trying to sell workouts. Did you know that a community was going to grow?
I thought it would be more, you know what I thought it would be more like is I thought it would be more like 2007, 8 CrossFit.com where people would like post a score and then like, and a couple like memes here and there.
Yeah.
But not like, hey, should I divorce my husband on the Facebook? Right. And you're like, oh my God, like this is so inappropriate. And please don't ask for advice from strangers.
But it's that place. You can't control it, right?
Yeah. But in 2020, where people, I feel like got way more active on social media and were way more demanding of what they thought that just a person should give to them if they're part of their company, got to a place where it was just nuts, right? And I was with our second. So our second was born May 3rd in 2020. So when people were really starting to lose it. Right?
Caleb's fooling around.
I was early postpartum with Banner, our second, and I was up till like 2, 3 in the morning, like responding to people who were upset about this social thing or this post or what do you, and I let it get to me way too much because I was so worried about wanting everybody to be heard and not wanting them to think that I didn't care about their thoughts and feelings about things. And I let it get out of control. I've let my DMs get out of control too, because if a member DMs me, and a lot of our members will put a little key in their bio. So like, it's like a little, signal, and I'll want to respond to them if they tag me in a story, and I want to show them that love because they've taken the time and they trust us with their fitness and they're excited about it. But it can just open up one response, and now this person is messaging you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've created.
That's what I am. I have like 100 friends in my DM.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But then like you start, but then you like don't answer one, and then you feel guilty. So yeah, I mean, in this last year, I've really had to learn to, when I'm on social media and I scroll, if I see something, I'll comment on it, I'll like it, I'll reshare it in my story, I'll open up a couple of DMs and I'll do my best. But I also feel like as an quote unquote influencer, that I was going against my actual beliefs in demonstrating that I was spending so much time on social media where I don't think that people should.
Oh, right.
So I want to set an example of, hey, we actually delete Instagram off of our phones now at like 6 p.m. when we're at home most nights.
Wow.
So that we can't scroll through it.
Wow.
Just because it's such a second nature thing for us now. We've been doing this for, 7 years. And I was very active on social media when I was competing with NorCal and the NC Lab and all of that stuff too. So
do you like that? Are you glad you did that?
Yes. Yeah. Especially with breastfeeding, bringing back the breastfeeding, like you end up just like doom scrolling. And I was pregnant through all of I was breastfeeding through all of the 2020 election year.
Yeah.
And then, pregnant again in 2021. So you just end up reading the news and dumb shit. And like, it's not
and
good
having
for
the phone by your baby's head too. That part sucks.
Yeah, that's probably not good either.
The thing is too, though, also, I've never had anyone get upset for not responding. No one ever gets pissed. No one's ever like, hey, asshole, you didn't respond to me. I feel like everyone's like, I want to say 99%, but I feel like it's 100%. I've never had anyone say, hey, I did have one person one time like accuse me of like erasing our Instagram messages. Like that was really weird.
I've had a few people. We've had a few like.
You ever get dudes obsessing on you?
Too. Well, one recently, I had a member who was really, really, really upset that I wasn't as involved in one of our challenges as she thought that I should be. And that I wasn't interacting with the community on Facebook as much as she thought that I should be. And was personally tagging me in Instagram stories, complaining about it. Trying to get
fire that person? Do you just kick him out? You'll be like, hey, you're a cancer, bye.
No. I mean, we have done that, but no, I just kind of just like said, hey, like, I can't, you don't know what's going on. Like, I'm a real human being. Like I've got stuff going on over here. Yeah. And we there was one other time where there was a guy and Julian was responding to a question that he had on Facebook, and it was on a Sunday, and the guy kept going back and forth. And Julian said, hey man, like, email me and I'll get back to you on Monday. Like, I'm with my family. And the guy said, well, I pay you to answer my questions.
Damn.
No, we didn't fire him either. They're both still members. And I understand that people, they lose the concept of that we are real humans and we've got these other 3 little humans that we're in charge of taking care of. And that they're one person in a group of 35,000 people. And if we let every single person have that kind of access to us, like we would do nothing else. And, but people, they have a warped view of what it is to be in that position if they've never.
And your whole life is street parking.
I mean, it's in my family.
Yeah. Well, but what I mean is like you're around it.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's you're around it at all times.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So I just come here every morning at 7 a.m. and I sit down, and then some days I do more than one podcast. But recently I opened up memberships.
Oh, what do they get? Like a signed photo?
I don't want them getting nothing. I don't want to give them nothing.
So what
there's so many. There's so many. Like, so basically, I just want to open memberships so that the money would pour in. So that, because I did the behind the scenes, and the behind the scenes, let's say, cost $60,000 to make, and I would like to recoup that money. And then, if it does recoup that money, be like, because already when I did it, I was like, okay, the sponsors will help pay for it, and then it'll generate a lot of traffic to my site and a lot of eyeballs, and it'll be cool. Plus, I love doing it. I love going there. I just love doing it. So I opened up these memberships and now money's pouring in. I'm like, okay, cool. So the behind the scenes have almost paid for themselves.
Nice.
But what about after that? I don't want to feel obligated to do it. I can't do anymore. I don't want to
Yeah.
put any more shit behind the paywall. I want everything to be free. I'm still going to
Right.
make the behind the scenes free. I just charge the money so you could get early access. But all of a sudden I have all of these thoughts about like community and shit and like managing it. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Well,
I do want your money. I do want to get rich off your money. I do want to do the behind the scenes. I like all that. But I don't want to all of a sudden start putting shit behind the paywall or juggling fucking like dildos for cash. Not that that's what you're doing. You found a
there are
great
definitely people who do that.
but you know what I mean? Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Or if I do, I want it to be free. I just want to do it for free.
well,
Juggle
that's
dildos
the
for
thing
free.
that I think people didn't understand originally at the growth of street parking, because especially in 2020, when we saw a lot of games athletes or former games athletes who were like, I'm going to jump on this like at-home programming train because it's like the hot thing, right? Because everybody's working out at home. What people didn't process is you don't just get to, if you want to grow a community, right, and a following, you don't just get to throw up a workout and then go work out all day. Like you gotta talk to these people and make them feel special. It's not that something that we've said from the beginning, something that I knew as a personal trainer or when I owned my CrossFit gym, like it's easy to get people to join, especially when you have the following that I had or that Julian had. We could get people to join. It's getting them to stay, and that you're not going to get them to stay, whether you're an in-person gym or an online program, unless they feel like they're a part of something. And so,
Right.
People will quit a program, but they're not going to quit a relationship. And on some level, you have to develop a relationship. Now, that doesn't, and I don't think should be one-on-one DM conversations with 35,000 people, but whether they're making those connections with each other somehow, which is why our Facebook group has always been very important to us, even though it's very hard to manage. And we've had some really uncomfortable situations, or just, liking some posts here and there. And we encourage and ask all of our staff to do that, because it doesn't need to come from me. It just needs to come from someone here. They need to feel seen and like they're a part of it. So it's a lot more work. I had a call. I remember when Sherwood was going to create a Facebook group for Linchpin, and he called me and he was like, should I create a Facebook group? And I'm like, I mean, yes, but also it's a lot of work to manage. So
I think there is maybe a Sevan podcast Facebook group. I have no idea if there is or isn't, but I know that there are some groups, but I just don't want to go over there. I don't want to go into that. Because then I feel like that I could fuck, like, that's not what I do. That's not my job isn't to party in the park. My job is to maintain the park.
I think though, like with like what's happening here, like I see, okay, hi, Christine is one of our members. She watches your show all the time. I know she does because I see her on here and I talk to her about it.
Yeah, she's one of the people I'm excited to see in the morning. I met her at one of your events, and I talked to her on here. And I talked to her
she's one of the people that I have actually become friends with from our community, because she was one of our original members. And so when there was only 700 people, it was easier to DM with people when they would ask questions, and now we're friends. But I think you have that with these comments, and even if you just read a couple of them and you're interacting that way. So
yeah, and I like that. I like reading. And I have the ones that are the go-to, right? Like, so this lady, Judy Reed, like I trust her comments, so I bring up a lot of her comments. I don't even have to read them first. I can just bring them up.
Do you see people when they log on, you're like, oh, this freaking guy again?
Not when they log on, but I know there are people. There's a handful of people out there, like a regular listener on the earlier podcast today completely flipped out on me.
Oh, really? About what?
I forget what it was. He wants me to see he wants me to like just denounce Israel and see it as a genocide.
See, that's the kind of stuff that
he thinks if I don't denounce Israel that I'm for the killing of people. And like my stance is like, dude, my relatives were over there and they fled and I'm alive. I don't think any Palestinian should stay there. Open the border and run and come to America. That's what my family did. And I went back and visited the house that the people.
Well, you're still defending yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, because he thinks I want people to be killed. No, I just have a different solution than you do. But anyway, he completely flipped out.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff with all the stuff that was very real and very important that was going on in 2020, where they wanted me with this like 2-week-old to make a stance and talk to them about it. And it was rough.
They wanted to see your vaccine papers and a Band-Aid on your shoulder.
Yeah. Yes.
God, how glad am I didn't get that shot now. The NFL just launched their cardiac awareness group
Oh my
earlier
gosh.
in December. Oh, that's weird. That's really weird. Why is the NFL launching the cardiac? Okay. What is the hardest thing? 8 years. Was there? What's the hardest thing? Has there ever been a night where you went to bed and you're like, "Fuck, this is over. Like I can't do this anymore. Like this is."
Yeah, I mean, probably those. Whenever I tend to take things too personally. And so whenever I would get a member, even this most recent one where the lady was like, I'm probably gonna get a message from her after talking about it because she's gonna know. But like after she was saying like you don't
What's her
care
name, Miranda? Tell me her name.
after she was, putting in her story like you don't care about us, like this is what I would do, and your personal it was, I mean, she didn't say this, but your personal life basically doesn't matter, and I paid to do this challenge and I wanted to chat with you on Facebook and you don't care about me. And the I just, because I do care so much.
Yeah.
And I have poured so much into it. And it's like,
Yeah.
you have those moments where you're like, if they can't see that and like see me as a real person, like, what am I doing this for still? Like there's just no, I don't know if respect is the right word, but no understanding or no affirmation that people can see that but then our members are always really quick to.
35,000 is nuts, though. How are you supposed to do that?
Right.
Here's the thing. Here's the truth. You couldn't even call if you called every single person who was a member at Street Parking who had, let's say, cancer at some point in their life. You'd be on the phone 365 days a year consoling the 5 members that get cancer every month.
Right. And it's the same thing when I had my gym. I mean, we only had like 125 members, but everybody's, if you feel like you need to be 125 people's friend to the point where you're helping them move and you're, going to the birthday party and all this stuff, because those relationships feel even more real because they're in person, right? It ends up, it ends up becoming feeling impossible. And then, if you miss somebody's birthday party and then it's like the gossip about it or whatever, and they feel left out. And then you're just like, I should never have gone to anyone's birthday party in the first place.
These things, as they come up over the horizon over the years, have you developed tools to manage these things? Obviously, like erasing Instagram, but any like I know our community, probably you and I both, we exercise is part of our therapy.
Right.
So erase Instagram. Do you still see exercise as therapy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm okay with that too. And anything else?
I mean, I also go to actual therapy, but I do see it as a form of, I've always seen exercise as a form of meditation, specifically CrossFit, like high intensity, because you can't think about anything else while you're doing it. It's similar to like the ice bath too, right? Like you're not going to be like thinking about what you're having for dinner while you're doing Fran. You're so in it, and it's something that brings you to the present moment. And then it takes a while for that to go away afterwards.
When you say you go to therapy, is it just like do therapists have like different methods, like a Jungian therapist or like a Freudian therapist, or like, you know what I mean? Like, or like, is it a Buddhist therapist? Do you have a certain kind of therapist?
I think it's just like cognitive behavior, like talk therapy. I have done some EMDR. Have you heard of that?
No.
What does the EMDR stand for? It's
Is this all to manage the stress of life, of feeling the pressure of running the business, 3 kids, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy is a mental health treatment technique. This method involves moving your eyes a specific way while you process traumatic memories. Wow.
Yeah, and I don't do the eye one. I think the eye one is like you follow this like laser or something like that. The one that I've gone to, I haven't done it a ton of times, maybe like 4 or 5. I hold in my hand these little like almost like paddles that vibrate one at a time that gets your brain to move from left to right. And you close your eyes and you think about stuff that you're, trying to reprocess and get over, I guess.
EMDR is a game changer in therapy process. Did you like it?
I mean, I don't know if like is the word, because they basically, it's weird, right? So there was I'm not going to talk specifically about what it was, but there was a memory that was pretty traumatic, that was about, I don't know, honestly, right before we started street parking, there was something. And I thought I was over it. Like, oh, like, because they said, like, go back to, something that was one of the original issues. And so I
I
went
know
back.
what it is. It's when Dave wouldn't let you compete, right?
I should do it with that. Was when I tore my ACL. I could do it with when I tore my ACL. That was pretty traumatic because of other factors. But I thought I was over it, and then they have you picture it. So the EMDR specialist, she doesn't have me tell her even necessarily all the details about it. She's just like, hey, just picture where you were or what was going on. And I like immediately got crazy emotional, and it felt like I was back in it, like in that moment. And so they guide you in it. They ask you, like, okay, like they'll do the little back and forth thing for like 15, 20 seconds or something like that. And she's like, okay, what were you thinking about? What were you feeling? And you tell her, and she's like, okay, just go with that. And they help you to reprocess it and reframe what was actually real in that moment, what was actually happening, what was actually in your control versus out of control. And where are you now? And because people can get stuck in stuff,
Um, are you religious?
So I grew up Mormon. I grew up in a Mormon family. I have 5 siblings and grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah. When Tyson and I were together, especially early in our relationship, we were active in the Mormon church, and then kind of, I wouldn't say fell away from it in that we had anything against it. But when we started working, when we moved to California and I was traveling all the time, we just weren't active in the church anymore. But in the last couple months, Julian and I have started going to a local church here. Actually, one of the women.
Is it a Mormon church?
No,
No.
it's just a Christian. It's a Christian church. It's called Crossroads here in Vancouver, Washington. And one of the girls who works for us and who has worked for us for a long time, her husband is a pastor there, and he's just awesome. So we've been going, and because Julian grew up Jehovah's Witness, so we have these like 2 very strict. I always call Mormonism the paleo of religions. But I think Jehovah's Witness is even more so that.
Yeah, they don't
And
even give
so,
birthdays and shit.
yeah, he didn't as a child. So we've been going, it was something that was hard for both of us because we come from 2 religions that were so very strict. And at least my understanding of it, or what I got from it, and this is probably not what I was supposed to get from it, but it's what I got, was just a list of rules. And if you mess up, you're like bad. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, but we've been really enjoying it, actually. And it's the first time we've ever done anything like that together.
How old were you the very first time you did therapy?
When did Julian and I went to therapy together in our relationship. Did I ever go to therapy before that? I don't know if I did. Maybe so, 34.
Okay. That's when I found CrossFit. 34. I was 34.
Therapy. There you go.
Um,
When you're 34, you need therapy.
do you
We just
think that
discovered it.
there's some so there's something in that trauma or whatever that's somewhere in your life that the reason why you are so amazing at who you are? Like it's like like an integral ingredient to, like, you cannot have chocolate chip cookies without chocolate chips. No matter what, you could change a bunch of other shit. You think that there's something to that that's made you like so good at the things you do?
So, okay. So I know, when you originally reached out to have me on the podcast, you said that you had read my email about how I went just recently, actually in October. I went to the same, it's not a
Who was
treatment
that letter
center.
to? Who was that letter to anyway? Who was that
It was
to?
just like a random newsletter. It was a place where,
To
okay.
all 35,000 members?
No. It wasn't street parking. It's just me.
Okay.
I wanted a place to share stuff that's going on without a comment section.
How many people
So,
does that go to? I'm just curious if you find it weird that it ended up in my lap.
well, and it was like hey, if you want to hear what's going on with me, that this is not a street parking. I'm going to be talking about random homeschool stuff and all this other, like, who knows what it's going to be about. I think there's like something like 10,000 people on the list right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um, So yeah, you had reached out to me because I had gone to this. It's not a treatment facility. Sounds like I was in a mental hospital. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I went to this place, almost
Patient
like a
Trauma Resource Center called, can I say the name of it?
sure.
The Bridge to Recovery.
Yeah, and it was actually recommended to me by Bill and Cariana Anthes, who also used to work for CrossFit and owned CrossFit Morristown. Cariana's a good friend, and it's the same place that Peter Attia has gone like twice, which I didn't know until I was there, actually.
They got a big poster of him up there. Did they?
No, I think some of the people, when they were asking, like, how did you hear about this? Some of the people that were there said that they had read about it in his book because he talks about it in his book.
Wow. Okay.
I don't even.
And what is that?
So I was there for 2 weeks, and it was okay. I was going to answer your question about like, do you think these traumatic events made you good at what you're doing? That was the original question.
Yeah.
For me, it was I needed to pull myself out of our environment, which is very chaotic with the little kids and the demanding business and our staff and the members. And so you go and they take your phone and they take your computer. And for the first week, you have no contact with the outside world whatsoever. And I promised them that I wouldn't tell too much of what they do there because they don't, it's not that it's weird or anything, but it's their method, So,
Right.
so yeah, I couldn't talk to Julian for the first week or anyone at all. And I just needed a break I needed to actually separate myself from all of that. And it just brought my nervous system back down. And what we were doing there was like digging into like inner child stuff and telling our life story and trying to figure out like what makes us deal with stress or pressure the way that we do, like what causes us to react to hard situations the way that we do, what kind of pressures are we putting on ourselves, or what kind of like stories have we spun up about who we are based on our life experience. So yeah, I mean, one of the things that I talked about there was as a child, I have 3 older brothers. I have a little brother and I have a little sister. And my 3 older brothers were always in trouble, always. And so early, like I'm talking like 7 years old, I decided that I was going to do everything perfectly. And I was going to be like the perfect grades, all the extracurriculars, everything, so that I could be like, I could help my parents because they were harder to handle.
Oh, okay. You wanted to be the easy child. You didn't want to burden your parents. You took the burden of your brothers onto you.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. And I mean, they were just teenage boys and stuff,
Right.
but, and then I was also I did child acting, which, I look at my little 6-year-old, I started doing it when I was 7, and I look at my little 6-year-old and I started going to auditions and stuff like that when I was 7, just a year older than him, hearing like, no, like you're not who we want, and I don't know that it is probably why I push myself so hard and I'm so driven, and but also there's like there's pros and cons of everything. Yeah.
Do you think that it was that? I mean, going away for 2 weeks, I know you probably didn't like that. You probably did not like leaving your business. You probably have never even left your business for 2 minutes, let alone 2 weeks. And you probably hated leaving your kids.
Yeah, it was really hard to leave the kids. It was really hard to leave the business, and Julian and our home and just everything. I mean, because we do everything together. Our business and our family are like so tied. So
was he supportive, or was he like, no, you can't go?
Julian?
Yeah.
He called them.
Oh. He found them for you?
No, he didn't find them. It was Bill and Cariana helped me to find them. And I was just I had gotten to the point where I was just like, I mean, I was losing it a little. And there was some other personal stuff going on that had nothing to do with the business or my childhood or anything. And I just had maybe pushed too hard for too long, or and then we added this kind of, other stuff into it that was stressful. And he was like, you need to go take care of yourself. You have taken care of us. You have carried these 3, like to this point, because I told you I'm still breastfeeding. I have been pregnant or breastfeeding since 2016, like straight.
Yeah, wild.
This whole time. So, yeah.
One thing I heard, and I know you don't want to say, but I heard that this isn't true, so I want to bring it up. One thing I heard is that you had cancer.
I don't have cancer.
Okay, good.
I mean, people definitely
Okay.
have been trying to figure it out.
Okay.
And that's one of those things where
yeah, go ahead.
that's one of those things where you know, I know everybody is like, well, what is it? Well, like, you have to tell us. No, I don't.
I just don't want you to die.
No, I'm not dying.
Okay,
no one
good.
in our family is dying.
Okay, good.
But it's also like I've seen people overshare, and what my opinion of oversharing is on social media, whether it's in our Facebook group or on their own personal. And I think that we've maybe taken that too far in our society to where some things should be dealt with like privately. And so I'm trying to lead by example of like saying, hey, we've got some stuff going on, because I also don't think people should hide it if they're going through a hard time. But like maybe you don't need to tell everyone everything.
So how do you two things? Two things. How do you decide what to share and what not to share? And does it ever trip you out when you can't share something? Because I'm like pretty comfortable sharing stuff, but there are things that I'm like, hey, I'm not sharing that. And but I like to examine those things, and I almost feel, I like to examine those things, but it is some sort of weird reason when I don't want to share. It's like maybe I don't want to be judged on that level. I'm always surprised when there's something I don't want to share, because like my whole thing is like I'm an alchemist. Like just bring any kind of energy and I'll turn it into positive. Like,
you know what it is?
Send me your hate and I'll make it good.
You know what it is, Sevan? It's my kids. So, because I'm the same way. Like even what we have going on, if it was just me that it would impact, but there's like family stuff involved, and there's also like how people speak to and about their mom or their dad or whatever, and the sensitivity that I know about if people took it a certain way, what we have going on. And my kids are way too young for me to ask their permission. Hey, do you mind if we share this stuff about our family?
Right.
And so there's repercussions. I just think about it as we protect our family.
That's funny. All the things I share, the only criticism my wife ever has, and I share some wild shit, is, hey, it's you kid stuff. It's all, you're right. It's just all kid stuff. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. You know, actually, and I hope Julian doesn't mind me sharing this. He had shared something maybe a month ago where he was doing a workout, and Banner, our middle son, was having like a full-on meltdown. Like this wasn't like he was just being a whiny toddler. Like he was actually really emotionally struggling. And it was a really cool post because it showed parents that that's normal. But I asked him to take it down, and we had a discussion about it because Banner's a person. And that was a real, like he was actually really struggling. And he's not old enough for us to ask him, hey, buddy, is it okay if strangers watch you having this like real emotional meltdown moment?
Right.
And so it's things like that where we're just trying to protect our family. And I think it's a fine line to walk though. And I don't have like a formula for it. We just go by how it feels to us.
When could street parking exist without you? Would street parking exist without you? Yeah. Like if you just if you walked away from it, you're like, hey, I'm joining a nunnery.
Yeah, I think the message is strong enough to stand on its own, for sure.
Do you think that so let me back up a step. I know that was a pretty aggressive question. There were values that Greg had that a group of people can't have. There was this thing I read one time that Mahatma Gandhi said that you never have any friends, because all friends will do is make it so that one time you compromise yourself. You'll let loyalty come in front of your own values. And some people, it's so funny. Some people are going to hear that and they're going to get all like defensive about friends or not. Don't worry about that. Just see the message. It's an equation. It's not something you have to decide on. I'm getting rid of all my friends tomorrow, you fucking wackadoodles. Just an equation. It's just an interesting thought. But Greg, the more and more as we get further away from the Greg era, I realized that it was his values and what he kept on target that was CrossFit. And even when I was there, Greg would deny that, and all the employees would say it's not a cult of one man and it's the community and all this. But more and more as we get away, I'm like, no. Didn't matter if you knew who the man was or didn't know or whatever. People would be like, well, they don't even know who he is. Doesn't matter. You can be at the back of the bus and never see the bus driver. Doesn't make him any less important. First of all, does it make you uncomfortable to talk about this?
Well, what I would say is,
I mean,
well,
yeah.
I agree with you. I agree that CrossFit as the way that it was and what it felt like and what um I don't want to say what it stood for, but just what it felt like. I guess I'm like a very feelings person. Is different now. It is different without him. It's not quite as like a William Wallace Braveheart thing.
Mm, mm, mm.
Um,
Well said. I never heard that said. That I can't believe I've never heard that. That is what it was. Yeah. Fuck you. We'll swap a little parallel and we won't eat sugar. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
why I mean, I talk about my time on the seminar staff here in our business all the time. I talk about it to Julian constantly because I mean, there's a video of me literally in 2012 in my freaking neck brace where I'm like telling people what's going on with Anthos on YouTube. It's still there. Like we would have done
I, I, but
anything to further that message. And we were flying to freaking Australia one weekend and Korea the next weekend. And
he told me, I told him I was getting on the show with you today. He told me to say hi to you. He said he's totally he's totally blown away with what you've done. He's not surprised at all. He always remembers you as being just fucking amazing. And he said that one time he flew on a big
it was like a military plane, like a
military cargo carrier, and you and Dave and him were watching a movie, sharing one set of earphones with bulletproof hats and flak jackets and the whole fucking thing. He said it was the greatest trip ever. He said it was crazy, but he said he has just mad respect for you. He was just talking you up like crazy.
Yeah, and exactly. We flew into Iraq in 2009.
Yeah, crazy.
Like,
yeah,
to go teach people, and we just never would say no. Like we were just so, and we took it so seriously. I worked 300 seminars and I was still studying my notes for the lecture the night before because I wanted to get it right. And quite honestly, I believe that street parking is an extension of that. I'm passionate about it because I am so passionate about what Greg taught us. And
but now you're bringing this other stuff. Now there's Miranda, the mother of 3, a wife. I see you balancing like, hey, recognize me as a strong businesswoman. Hey, I'm just a regular person. Hey, I have kids. Now you're balancing all these things, but the people in your community are there for it, right? They're there. They're there for that. I mean, the 10,000 subscribers speak to it. If they just wanted they're there for it.
Yeah, I think so. I guess to answer your question, CrossFit still exists. It feels different. So I think street parking could definitely exist for a very long time. It might feel different, and I don't think that the message would change, but maybe the way that it feels in the delivery, or maybe they would do things that I wouldn't have done exactly the same way. But I do think that the community and the people here, we have people working here who are just as passionate about it. Maybe not just as, but very passionate about it the same way that Julian and I are. So I think that it could continue. It might not just be exactly the same.
Do you think that this podcast could never continue without me? No one get fucking any crazy ideas. This bridge to recovery thing that you shared, is it to why did you share it? Not, I know that you were saying that you shared it because you think people should know, like, hey, there's hard things that happens in people's lives, even my life. I'm not perfect. I tried to be when I was 7, but I want you to know I'm fucking not. But is any part of it like a relief? Like, do you feel better that you shared it, or does part of you, or is it just not better, or is it worse that you shared it?
No. So, I mean, I think you've known me for a very long time. Like I've always tried to be very authentic in who I am. And to the point where like, I know you guys make jokes about this and Hiller jokes about this. Like I would never have, even when I worked for Progenics, I'm not going to post a product that I don't personally take. Even if it's like a brand that I love, or I'm not going to wear a pair of shoes that I wouldn't buy with my own money. And here at Street Parking, we're not going to put out a program that we wouldn't do. And so there's a level of realness that I've always tried to showcase. And that's just a part of it. Because like what you're saying, like, I think people need to, maybe there was somebody that needs to hear like, hey, it's okay to like ask for help. And yeah, I look like I've got my whole life together because I've got this beautiful husband and these 3 beautiful children and a successful business and I'm fit and all of this stuff. But like I'm over here in the trauma center because you pay a price to have a life like this. And everybody has gone through stuff and it's okay to like own up to that and take some time for yourself, especially moms, so.
So, and you're glad you did the 2-week course, 2-week vacation, 2 week
It's
work,
really
2 weeks
cool. Yeah,
work?
I'm so glad I did it. It was a really good reset. It brought my, my nervous system down. I haven't put Facebook back on my phone. So I'll interact with people on my computer through Facebook and like I said, I take Instagram off my phone at night.
Did they recommend that at the place?
Well, I mean, my situation with social media was different than at least the people in my group. Like I had to really explain like, hey, this is because I have on my personal Instagram, I have 280,000 followers or something like that. And it's been like that for 10 years. And so that's a different thing that most people will never understand what it's like to have 300,000 people have an opinion about everything you do. you know? So no, it was more like I needed a more healthy relationship with it. And it felt good. Like my stress levels and my insecurities and everything were just so much more improved just from 2 weeks. The coolest thing that happened though is, so there was a group of 12 of us that were all together at the same time. And we have this group text that just, it's people, you know what it is?
Oh, who went to the recovery place?
Well, and it was strangers. They were
Strangers.
just complete strangers. Yeah. So you roll up and everybody starts and you get there on the same day and we're all there at the same time. And the cool thing about it was none of these people had any idea who I was and they couldn't grab their phone to look it up.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's cool. Wow.
the only things they knew about me was what they saw in person. So there was because when was the last time I entered a space, because we go to meetups and stuff and all the members, they look at us already a certain way. Or if I go to the CrossFit games,
everyone knows you.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, not like freaking Leonardo DiCaprio or something. When I go to the coffee
No,
shop,
I get it, but you live in I was thinking, well, think of there's people who just live in the bubble. Think of a games athlete who has 800,000 followers, and all they do is go from affiliate to affiliate or gym to work out, and everywhere they go, they're just fucking famous, right? Everywhere they go, they're just the man.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. That I was just realizing the other day. That's just wild.
Yeah,
That's
it's
like,
weird.
yeah, and and here's what I really think happens to those people. This is off subject. I think those people start to believe their own shit, like that they are Leonardo DiCaprio, or that
Oh my gosh.
they really are famous. There's some girl on Instagram who has 1 million followers and she thinks she's famous. Like, yo, ding dong, nobody knows who you are. The reason why is because you just travel in our cult.
You know what? When we started street parking the very first year, we called it CrossFit Games Rehab.
Oh, I like that. Yeah,
Because what I realized, so we competed in 2015 and it was my whole life. Like we were going to win and all this stuff. And then the next year I wasn't competing, but Julian still was, and we were together now. And so we were still kind of in it. But like when you stop competing, you realize how few people give a shit about it.
right.
And it's not to say that it's not super. I love that I did it. And I love that I was super into it. And I think the people that are doing it, there's a cool season of life to do that.
Right.
But when you get out of it, you're like, oh, no one cares.
What have you
Literally,
done for me lately? That's what sports is.
yeah.
Miranda's one of my favorite humans. Chris Frank.
Chris Frank Chris Frank is one of Julian's close friends, and he lived with us for a while.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice of you.
Yeah. Hi, Frank.
All right. Are you going to be doing the Open?
Maybe. I did it last year.
I'm doing it for the first time in like 75 years.
You didn't do it?
No, I never did it. I was opposed to doing it.
Why?
I don't know. Fuck it. I just was just like, fuck it. It's not my thing. But now I'm trying to get in the good graces of like Dave and Don, and like I'm trying to be cool.
Why are you trying to get in their good graces?
Because I got to do the behind the scenes. Well, let me say this first about it.
You're sucking up to them.
Yeah, sucking up to them. But let me say this in all fairness. The 2 or 3 times that I've done it in my life, I was so proud of myself. I was so fucking proud of myself. And there were always 5 workouts when I did it. I was so proud of myself. So now I know I'll be happy that I did it, but I'm like, part of me is like just dreading it and terrified and like all that shit.
You know what? I will probably do it. Maybe it depends on the workouts. Like if there's one where it's like I'm gonna F myself up if I even try to do this, then I'm not gonna like try to be a hero. But I did them all. I did them all last year. The other couple years I was like super pregnant always, so I wasn't really doing it.
Super
We have
pregnant.
have you heard of what we do over at Street Parking called the Vault? I mean, I got to share this with you because I know you're all about the
Yeah,
affiliates.
someone was just completely explaining the vault to me, like giving me just a complete lowdown. Explain it to me. Yes. Oh, that's
Okay,
nice.
so
Wow, look at that set.
some good graphics.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, go on.
So the vault, the first year of the vault was in 2020. This is our 5th year of the vault. And we got together in 2019, in the spring of 2019, and we were like, how can we take I'll just be honest about what the conversation was. We were like, the open's awesome and there's so much energy around it, but we hate the scores, we hate the no reps, we hate the judging. Like that's just not our vibe. But our core, like core value is consistency. Like how can we take that concept and help build it into consistency? And so what the vault is it's one workout a week for 25 weeks.
Wow.
But there's no, like, you don't have to film yourself. There's no, judging. There's no leaderboard. You just have to log it within the time window, but you got to do all 25 to be a vault finisher. And every year we've had a cool, like this year's theme obviously is the pirate theme. And for the first time last year, we were like, hey, like if you have a CrossFit gym or just any type of gym, if you're a personal trainer, it doesn't matter. You're more than welcome to join us and use the vault with your members, because it's a consistency challenge is really what it is. And ultimately that's what if I'm a trainer, I want people coming back and sticking to it. And so the vault is one workout a week for 25 weeks. We have close to 100 gyms participating with us this year.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Last year
Wow.
was the first time. I think we only had like 15 or something like that last year. It was kind of last minute, but we invited gyms to participate, and they don't have to pay anything. Just one coach or the gym owner needs to be a member,
Right.
is all that we ask, and they can participate. And their members are not going to log on our app or anything like that. They can do their Watify or their Sugar Watt or whatever is out there these days. But yeah, they're getting lesson plans. Carlene Matthews works for us now, and she lives to us actually, and she's doing the lesson plans because she's been doing the vault at her gym for a few years.
We're a games athlete that went to die at street parking.
See,
Carlene Matthews.
it's me and Carlene and Julian and Molly, and a lot of our members are former, like maybe not the big name athletes, but we have, I mean, Carly Fuhrer, if you remember her, she's a member that's very active. And so yeah, we're really excited about the gyms, because I know, like, gym owners could be like, well, I don't want my members to get stolen by street parking. So the fact that they trust us, and we're not trying to steal your members, we're just trying to give you another tool, because I come from that, and we just want to help people be consistent. So we're super pumped about it.
Sevan, I will see you at Sevan, and I will see you, Miranda, at the Health Summit. Oh, you're speaking at the Health Summit.
I am coming to the Health Summit. I think I'm on a panel.
Miranda, I had this guest on the other day, Jennifer Say. She won she was U.S. national champion in gymnastics in 1986, and then worked at Levi Strauss and became the president of Levi Strauss. And then they're based out of San Francisco, extremely liberal company, like extremely liberal, like very. And opposite, but their consumer, what's interesting is their consumer base is not predominantly liberal. It's predominantly conservative.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But anyway, so she worked there, and she was towing the line, hiring people based on their genitalia and their skin color instead of their merit. And they pushed her too far. She's a white Jew lady, but she got black husband with 2 black kids, and they pushed her too far. And she sent her kids to public school, while all the other executives and bigwigs were sending their kids to private school. And during COVID, they wanted the kids to wear masks and shut the school down. And she's like, nah, I'm not doing that. That's going to hurt black kids and brown kids more than white kids. I'm not doing that. Like, she really was towing the line. She was next in line to be CEO. The CEO was making like $40 million a year then. And she was very close to being CEO, and they told her to stop posting on Instagram, and she wouldn't. And she ends up losing her job. she was Forbes top 50, like best CMOs. And when I was interviewing her, I was like, holy shit. I wonder if, does Forbes ever reached out to you? Like, has anyone ever reached out to you and just been like a top female entrepreneur in the world, top thinker, top mind, top leader, community leader, top, like like this didn't happen to you on accident. Like
Only
this
you,
is
Sevan.
this is it. This is as high as you can. Has Joe Rogan ever reached out to you?
No.
No. It's kind of wild, isn't it? What other? Sorry, I told you I'd only keep you for 6 minutes. What other
No, you're good.
organizations are there like yours? Are there any?
Okay, in the like vein of authenticity, like I'll see somebody like a Khalipa on who was he on recently on like the Jocko
Yeah,
podcast,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And obviously, I mean, Jason has more in common with Jocko with the jujitsu and all of that, but I'm just like why is Jason on? Like, where's my Jocko invite? And I
Right,
allow that
right,
to get to me a little bit. And
right.
the truth is like because I know that a lot of that stuff is there are people that work, and I'm not saying that this is what happened with Jason and Jocko, but there are a lot of people who work for those companies who go out and seek those things. Like there's somebody that maybe works for this company that's reaching out to Rogan and saying, hey, I've got a guest that I think that you would be interested in talking to. And I've just never, and maybe this is bad business on my part, but I've just never, that feels weird to me.
Yeah. You don't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A lot of these people are promoting. It's just really. And here's the other thing that I know: your community is truly ravenous.
Yeah.
It's not a normal community. You're 35,000 strong, or stronger than the millions of people that might be following another community. Like it's a powerhouse of a community. Yeah, it's fascinating to me. It's fascinating to me that you haven't grown. Well, I'm glad. I hope when you do, eventually you're going to get shot into the stratosphere. You're going to be asked to be on some like presidential council, or maybe you'll end up running for. Would you ever run for politics, Congress or
No
Senate? Or no?
way. No way. Not with all my like, no.
Do you have an agent?
No. And I never have. That's what I'm saying. Because when I worked for Progenics, I was the athlete manager. And so we had athletes like Lauren Fisher and Stacey Tovar and all these, and toward the end, because this was like 2015, 16, they all had agents, all of them. And again, it was like, do you really need an agent? Like, you're not Leonardo DiCaprio.
Right.
But
Right.
I get it. And a lot of these deals that people get in the shows that they're on are because their agents and people like that are reaching out for them. It's just never, I guess maybe I don't like that form of self-promotion. I shouldn't say I don't like self-promotion because I'm big on social media and I post all the time. But I don't know, that side of it's always been weird to me.
Okay, last question. But I'm gonna have you back on again, and we need to talk about that. Well, when you started going to church again,
Yeah.
what are you learning in that environment? Can you actually go there and like commune with God, or the whole time are you just like is it CEO Miranda? Okay, what are they doing here that's working so well? Oh, what are they doing that's not working so well? Oh, I really like this about the like. Are you like, oh, maybe I need a robe like the priest up there? Maybe I should be a high priest. Like, are you like? Maybe we need incense.
Well, the church that we go to doesn't have robes, but they do have a very cool vibe and a very cool community. And I learned this past Sunday that it is one of the largest churches in the country, if not the Pacific, and for sure in the Pacific Northwest, because I guess large churches just aren't very common up here. And I didn't know that before this past Sunday because this is a new experience for me. And this past
Thousands?
Sunday,
Are you in a room with like thousands of people and shit?
I don't know how many members they have, and I don't know how they quantify
Are there big
members,
screens when
but
you
it's
go
not
in, or
like
you
like
go in the back
paid
and look
dues or
through?
anything. Yeah, so they have like live music and they have a screen and they've
Oh,
got like screens on the side and they make cool like content and stuff. Yeah, they do a really good job. And so this past Sunday, they did like a 2023 recap and a 2024, like what our message is going to be for this year and what our focus is going to be. And I came in here today because of the experience yesterday and recorded a podcast for our community that was the same thing. So I definitely can see like value in that. But no, like when I'm there, I just, it's very peaceful. This past Sunday, we didn't take our kids. We had Julian's mom watch them so that we could just go, just the two of us. And no, I don't see myself. See, that's the thing is like CEO Miranda. When you say that, I picture this like super professional, super dialed in, and that's just actually not who I am. Like I'm a very emotional. I think that street parking is the way that it is because I'm very in tune with my own intuition, and I pay attention and I feel other people and I feel what's going on and I see what's going to be needed, not in like a strategic mastermind way, but in like a human connection way. And I think the biggest benefit of us being more religious has been praying together and just prayer again, because whether or not you believe in God or Buddha or whatever, I think prayer is a form of meditation and slowing down and being present in the moment and thinking about what am I struggling with? What do I need? What do I need to surrender and just realize that this is out of my control. And so that has been a huge benefit for us.
Time with your husband. It's kind of interesting. That's what I thought about birthing class.
Mm-hmm.
We did 3-hour birthing class once a week for like whatever it is, 10 weeks. And I thought, oh, I can't believe I'm spending 3 hours just sitting next to her on a couch with no phone one day a week for it. It was so great for our relationship, even though the games and shit we played I thought they were silly, but whatever. It was great. Yeah. Hey, dude, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you were a man, I'd say you the man, but since you're a woman, I'd say you the woman.
You can say you're the man. It's okay.
All right. You the man. Yeah. Thank you. You the man. Thank you for being there always whenever I reach out to you, text you, call you. I appreciate your support. You are a diamond in the rough, and it's fun being your friend and watching you. You're like one of those people, like when I was little, I never thought I'd know someone as successful as you, and now you're one of a cast of characters that I'm stoked to know.
You're going to be at the health summit.
Fuck no.
No, you don't go anywhere.
No, ma'am.
Okay, well, I'll be there.
All right. Susan will be there. Yeah. But I'm promoting the shit out of it. And I love Karen Thompson. And I love that you're going there. And I think it's going to be an absolute blast. I think you're smart for going. I think it's going to be a cool event.
Cool. Yeah, of course.
You're on the panel. You're on the panel.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
See you later.
Miranda Alcaraz. Caleb Beaver. That could probably be a 4-hour podcast.
Easily.
Yeah, I was just like settling in.
Yeah, I felt like as soon as you got going, it was time for her to go. She's so fun to talk to. Well,
man, I just feel like that there's something under there that's like she's got like this knowledge, like, hey, here's the code. Spin the safe this way, and you're good to go. Like she know, like there's something in there.
She's got it figured out. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Intuitive. Fuck that intuitive shit. Sounds like my fucking wife. I had a dream. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Does your wife dream a lot, Caleb?
Yeah, she does. Way more than I do. I never dream.
And then does that shit come true? Does it ever come true, her dreams?
No, absolutely not.
My wife's dreams come true like 50% of the time. And like, I don't want to hear that shit because some of the times it's like some scary shit happens.
Yeah.
I dreamt this. You were at the skate park and there's a shooter. I'm like, what?
All of my dreams usually come true, but all of her dreams don't come true.
Oh, that's why you're restricted on how many dreams you can have.
Yeah. Like the other night I had one that I was in a helicopter crash. So eventually that'll happen.
What? Say that again? Seriously?
Yeah.
When was that? Last night?
Yeah, last night. I dream like once a week. So when I do have them, they're like pretty violent. And Jesus. That one was like a helicopter crash.
Were you in fatigues? Were you with the crew, with the boys?
Yeah, I think so. It was like very fast. It was like jolted me awake, and yeah.
Before you were dead, you woke up.
I hit the ground. Like I could, yeah, it was weird. But yeah, dude, that'll probably happen.
Shit, did this guy give $2 and I not read his shit? The beaver dude, the taxidermy dude?
No, I think he's probably saying $2 to paint the underside of the shelf, and I still haven't done it.
Oh, he didn't get that money. He didn't get that money. Oh, Caleb, do you sleep paralysis too? Ooh, I forgot all about that. I used to have that when I was younger.
Really?
I had that a few times. That's when you wake up and you can't move?
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never
that
had.
shit's ooh, that shit's scary. I usually can move though pretty quickly, like within a few seconds, but it's fucking scary.
I do not like the thought of that. That's fucking terrifying.
Mason Mitchell, my girlfriend dreams that she's doing clean and jerks and launches herself into the air.
She probably could too. She's strong as fuck.
My girlfriend, my wife, dreams that she is a cross-country skier with only one arm. Jeffrey Birchfield, thank you for recognizing the hat. It's been a while since I've worn it, but I knew it was going to be cold in here tonight.
See old Tilson. Oh, speaking of hats, this just came in the mail today. Where is it?
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, that's nice, dude.
Yeah.
Gray on gray. I want the yellow one. Holy shit! Vindicate. It's the least I could do is bring that up. Vindicate. VNDK8. And my other friend is now president of GoRuck. That's fucking crazy.
Jason McCarthy?
No, Jimmy Letchford. Jason McCarthy's the owner. Did we have Jason McCarthy on this show?
We did, long time ago. It'd be cool to get him back on.
Okay. He's got joggers. I'm so into joggers right now.
It's nice.
Tomorrow, here's the hats.
My wife.
God, I hope you're not selling any Vindicate hats and only
one.
CEO hats.
There is
that's a scarcity mindset, right? God, I hope you're selling a lot of Vindicate hats. Oh, for every 4 I sell, you sell 1.
They're nice though. This is warm. It's good for right now. It's snowing like crazy.
Oh, you have to say that because I pay you all that money.
It is snowing pretty great. This is like perfect
No,
timing.
not the snowing part. Not the snowing part. The part where you said it's warm.
Oh, well, it is warm.
Okay. Oh, tomorrow, I saw this, and I know Travis is all excited about it, but I have no fucking idea what it's about. So I told him to call in tomorrow morning and explain this to me.
I think this will be cool. I want him to explain it though.
Hey, you ready for this? Check this out. We did a show this morning. Have you fucking seen it yet?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the cleanest. That's one of the cleanest things I've ever seen in the CrossFit space, period. ESPN, anywhere. That was nuts. Taylor is a fucking god, and Will Brandstetter is a fucking genius.
Absolutely.
What do you think about this? They announced the Open on Thursday night. On Friday night, every Friday night for the Open, we do a show that's like that, and we fly in athletes to go against Taylor. Taylor against Hopper. Taylor against Colton. Taylor against Haley Adams. You would have to be, if you're an athlete, you'd have to be, and we'll promote whatever sponsor you want. California Peptides in conjunction with. Do you think the athletes want to do more for their sponsors? Like imagine like we had Spencer Panchik come in. I don't know who one of his sponsors are, but he'd be like just a bonus for a sponsor. Let's say his sponsor is Barbell Cartel. We just put their logo up there big, and the whole time we're pumping them up. Fly me out. I'll get my ass absolutely smashed, but fuck, I'll be shirtless. Oh, all right. No, they got to be big names, Pool Boy. Big names to go against Taylor.
That would be so cool to watch. I think tons of people would watch it. It'd be really fun to get the commentary.
Dude, I think it would be bigger than CrossFit's Open on Thursday.
Fuck yeah, it would be.
The thing that they have is they have the announcement that everyone wants to see, but this shit would be fucking wild.
Sure, but I don't give a fuck about any of the athletes they bring onto their show. It's not even like good rivalries. It's not even like they don't hype up anything about it. They're like, oh, look, we're going to have Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet and Annie Thorisdottir complete this workout. It's like, no, I want 2 people who are going to fucking trash talk the entire time.
Oh, yeah, Taylor and Jason would be crazy.
I want to see a war. I want to see them warming up, just throwing insults the whole time. And then I want to see them go at it and just wreck each other.
No, we're not going to offer him any money. We're going to have to offer them. No, we're just going to offer them just the publicity. Here's the thing. I don't know if people realize this yet, but you would rather have 10,000. You'd rather have 10,000 people who watch this podcast to be your fans than 100,000 people who don't watch this podcast.
Facts.
I'm just telling you. These motherfuckers will follow you all over the internet. They'll be like your personal bodyguards.
100%.
Yeah. Like you want. Anyway, well, if they don't want to do it, I don't even think, Patrick, Mr. Clark, I don't even think half the, I wonder if even half the athletes, even fucking 5% of the athletes even want to do anything for their sponsors. Like if they love them and want to blow them up. I know I bet you Colton will do it. Pay for Colton's air ticket and a fucking Armenian Uber driver and get him in there to go to war with Taylor.
Hell yeah. You want to do more for your sponsors.
Yeah. Just blow that shit up. God, that'll be so fun. Maybe Patrick's right. Maybe Patrick's right. Tell him, Caleb. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
The X.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. I wonder if Taylor was pretty high today after that.
I was high watching that. It was so fun to watch.
Ariel Lowen's a sponsor's dream. Yeah, maybe we give Taylor a week off and bring in Ariel and someone. Although it was so fun watching Taylor go. I really enjoyed that. He came out after the second workout just shitting on himself. All fucking, that was awesome.
He was beating on himself too.
Yeah, I loved it. I just loved it.
Yeah, it was cool.
I like him like 5% more than I did before, which is crazy because I already like him. We all like him so much anyway.
Yeah, right. And I think he did a lot for himself because I think people think he's just going to shit on everybody he talks to. I don't think Taylor is that.
No.
He has that personality, sure. Like you can go at anybody in the world just talking trash to him. But in reality, he's a CrossFit coach, so he has to have some level of like personable relationship with all of his athletes, you know? And I mean, he's gonna beat on himself more than anybody else he talks to. I think he's just got more.
Put it on the line. He basically opened himself up to a total criticism. Anus was fully loose. Yeah, his anus was fully loose today.
Exactly. Double cheeked up, anus loose.
Yeah. Oh look, Sevan's barn. God, it's so funny. You don't realize how much you actually motivate me. Sevan's barn. I'm just so ready for a barn. Build a barn on the property. I want all that money that Miranda has.
10,000 members at $35 a piece.
It's 35,000.
Oh right, got the numbers mixed up.
The thing is, though, man, they really do invest all that shit. They invest so much money fucking back into the community, which is so smart. Oh, what is this? Shut up and scribble live from Miami. Tier Wadapalooza Miami game day. Wow. Have you seen those graphics Will's working on? Holy shit.
They're awesome. No mames, way.
Espanol. All right. Remember, rumor has it peptides can't be tested for. God, I can't wait to get my peptides soon. On the show the other day, I ordered a whole year's worth. I still haven't gotten them.
CJC?
They only mail out every Friday. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Someone said, what happened to your sponsors, Wolverine and Toe Spacers? Seasonal. I've only done I've done 2 bottles of BPC 157 and 2 bottles of CJC 1295, and they were kind of spread out. I think the CJC 1295 did something to me. I think my hair and my nails, my dick, everything just got stimulated. I was telling Hiller that I bought a year's worth, and he's like, you should do 2 bottles every other month instead of 1 bottle a month. He's like, no, I'm joking. Oh yeah, your quads are still sore. I know, right? Jeez Louise. I'm not paying $70 a week to think something is happening. No, the jar lasts A year. Hey, dude, something happened. Something happened. Telling you. Ken Walters is doing the math on how much street parking makes. Hey, what if I told you, Ken Walters, that they make most of their money from apparel sales? I mean, I don't know that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's true. So you're not even scratching the surface. Andrew Hiller, I wasn't joking. Okay. All right.
Think about those partnerships with GoRuck.
Oh yeah, I bet you I bet you they changed GoRuck's world. That's what I mean. That like that community she has is powerful. Like if you can get them, if I could get her to use my toothpaste and talk about my toothpaste. Oh, Matuthian, it's here. It came today. 8 jars of it came. The Matuthian, it's here. 2 flavors. If I can get Miranda to fucking brush with my powder, fuck. Did I talk to her about that? Damn. Shit. She changed my world. She's like Oprah. She's like Oprah. Oh shit. That hurts. Yeah, someone on the show named it Matuthian. Someone hashtag Matuthian. I was like, yep, that's it. Thank you.
What's the other flavor? You said you have 2 flavors?
There's that one. That's just in the peppermint. There's just peppermint and just dirt. Dirt flavor. I prefer dirt. I'm not so good at selling stuff. Dirt. I just prefer dirt. You know what's crazy though is it's way less. The stuff that I'm using now is by a company called Van Man, and his shit is like brushing with like a big mouthful of like rocks and dirt. But I've gotten kind of used to it. What the fuck? Don't talk shit about Miranda. Who? Who's talking shit about Miranda? Who? Where? Let's see. I want to find it. Fuck, I don't see it. Let's bring them out to the courtyard and throw tomatoes at them. Oh, you said she's like Oprah.
That's what's okay.
All right. You know, I meant she's a real influencer. Yeah. All right. Fine. Okay, Audrey. Point Audrey. All right. Point Audrey. Should have asked her what she's reading. All right. That's like the time in one of the behind the scenes one year I asked Rich Froning, I said, hey, what kind of suntan lotion do you use? He said, I don't use suntan lotion. And then I panned over to James Hobart and he goes, every suntan lotion company in the United States just went out of business. And I thought it was so funny. Do you remember that?
I do. That was good.
Yeah, it was so good.
He was so quick with it too.
I called it Matuthian, but I saw it on a post. I think Wad Zombie. Oh, no shit. So it was a joke? Fuck. As Andrew Hiller would say, lean into that shit. Yeah, I loved it. Matuthian. Hey, and I'm going to come out with I swear to God. I swear to you. What are those things that girls stick in their vagina that has the string hanging out of it?
Tampon.
And that versus no, pad. I think tampon might be the pad. Let me Google tampon.
Tampon is the one that gets inserted with the string hanging out.
You're sure? Oh, yeah. So someone said I should come out with an all-natural tampon and call it Matussi.
What the fuck?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. In partnership with Doc Spartan, Matussi. Pad is a pad. Oh, wow.
You need a new R&D department.
Oh, my goodness. All right. I have to pee. I was listen how imperfect I am. I have a mattress on the floor in my bedroom, but also I was fasting today, and then my sister's over at my house and she made a shitload of steaks. She goes, "Do you want one?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I haven't eaten today. But I'm gonna go eat a steak. All right. Tampons are dirty. Just make a cup. Oh yeah, like those. Kate Gordon showed us the cup.
Yeah.
Look at Janelle Winston. I'd buy it. Yeah, thank you. Very supportive. Did I tell you the tampon story?
I don't know. You might have.
So the other day, it was actually last Thursday because the garbage man came on last Thursday. And I went out into the street to bring in the trash cans, and there was a row of trash from my neighbor's yard to my yard. And it was stuff that I knew that wasn't mine because there was like a Skittles wrapper and like a Colgate box and just shit that wasn't mine. But I didn't care. Like, I'm an adult now. You know what I mean? I'm old. I go over and I'm starting to pick all this stuff up, and there's a Kleenex. And I pick up the Kleenex, and right when I pick it up, there's a live tampon in there. They look like, you ever seen them? They look like dead mice. You ever seen like your wife walked to like the trash can with it, and she's holding it by the tail? Looks like a mouse that got drilled in a. And I picked it up, and there it is. My neighbor's fucking tampon. I so wanted to take a picture of it. Yeah, a live one. I so wanted to take a picture of it and be like, send it to my neighbor.
Have you floated this time around?
Hey, listen. I threw it in the trash. I walked in the house. I told my wife, she goes, "Are you going to wash your hands?" I go, "Nope."
No. Oh.
All right. Okay. Love you guys. See you tomorrow morning. No guest. Everyone's training. Susan was working like a madman trying to get some big athletes on. I couldn't do it. But I'll be here. I got a bunch of like shit that's going to make it so people cancel their memberships to talk about. Are you here in the morning?
I should be here tomorrow morning. Yeah.
All right. I got a great list of shit. All right. Love you guys. Well, not buying your tooth powder. No, I'm not the one that mixes the tooth powder. It's not these filthy hands that mix it. The Matoothian is done by kids in China with very clean hands. Oh yeah, you were me. Yeah. Don't send it to the neighbor. Nothing ever gets fixed. You're right. He's great at fixing shit. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.